So as we go live on YouTube, I'd like to invite everybody to make yourselves comfortable and maybe take a deep breath, and as you exhale, leave behind whatever you're carrying around from this week, whatever you might be worrying about for next week. And make some spiritual space for Shabbat, for rest, for peace, whatever that means to you. We're going to begin this evening on page 127 in the bracketed numbers, if you have a prayer book. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. And it's my pleasure to invite Nathan Schrader to the Bima for the candle blessing. So you can start with this.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
So now light the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chad l'gner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And we turn now to the Kiddush, page 123, and I would like to invite Alan Zaro to come to the Bima.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us sanctified us with mitzvot. In loving favor you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifiest Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
If you're able, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinkilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 138 for Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמוע וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Page 146 is the Baruch Hu. I invite you to rise or remain standing.
Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai, hamevorach, hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. la 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 la.
Ya la 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 la.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Ya la 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 la.
La 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 la.
On page 149, I invite you to read with me. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahaveta, Amecha ahaveta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochvenu u'v'kumenu, na'aseh b'chukecha v'nizamach b'divrei Toratecha. ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
The Shema is on page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 157, I invite you to read with me. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש. נורא עושה, נורא עושה אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה יליהנו ואמרו, זה יליהנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש. נורא עושה, נורא עושה לאדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Page 160, Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. אמן. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם.
The tefillah begins on page 164. I invite you, if you're able, to rise.
Yalalai lai 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 Adonai. Yalalai lai lai svatai tiftach. Yalalai lai lai ufi yagid, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Yalalai lai 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 Adonai. Yalalai lai lai svatai tiftach. Yalalai lai 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 ufi yagid, ufi יגיד תהילתך. יללי לי 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 אדוני. יללי לי לי שפתי תפתח. יללי לי לי ופי יגיד. ופי יגיד תהילתך. יללי לי 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 אדוני. יללי לי לי שפתי תפתח. יללי לי לי ופי יגיד. ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר, מושיע מגין. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. Page 173. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Please join me. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us our heritage, your holy Shabbat, that Israel, who sanctifies your name, may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt. in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. We come now to our blessing of gratitude, modim. And so I'd like to invite anyone who wishes to share something that you're feeling grateful for today. If you're on Zoom, you could put it in the chat, or you could electronically raise your hand, and then I can let you say it out loud. And if you're here in person, you can, of course, say it out loud. So, who is grateful for something today? Patricia is grateful it's springtime and it's the weekend to relax and enjoy services at home. And Susan Sisler is grateful for the technology that allows her to keep in touch with family and friends. Karen was sick this week, but not with COVID, and she is grateful to have made a good recovery. Charlotte is grateful that Toby Greenberg visited from Texas. Nathan, did you have something? Oh, yes, absolutely. Nathan finished a regimen of antibiotics, so Mazal Tov and Modim Anachnu Lach. We are grateful for a return to health. Mike Rose is grateful for Brotherhood Trivia this weekend, and that he and I are going to see Billy Joel at the Garden tomorrow night. I'm grateful for that too. Teddy. Oh. Wow. Teddy's friend Rory, his house survived the fires in San Miguel, and so we're grateful for that. Eslin is grateful for all the moments when technology allowed us to achieve collectively what we could not achieve alone, how technology has enhanced our collective accomplishments in this COVID era. Aaron. Yes, we're grateful that it's our cantorial soloist Noni Schuster's birthday. Happy birthday, Noni.
Thank you.
Grateful for another year.
And I'm grateful to see those beautiful faces here, Deb and Aaron and Tova. And the front row, the second row.
I was all set to repeat, but they can hear you. So, Freema, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful that I had dental surgery this week and I'm okay, and also for very good friends. Thank you.
Amen. Emma Rose.
I'm grateful that I was able to see my grandfather in an assisted living facility this week.
Amen. Gail and Bob are grateful to have celebrated the retirement of a friend that Gail mentored from when she was 15 years old in 1968. Modima nachnu lach. Anybody else? All right, I'm grateful that we have another bat mitzvah tomorrow. Leah Froelich. It's going to be great. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. Shalom Rav is on page 178. We pray for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav וישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם.
Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. We come now to our quiet prayer. If you have a prayer book, there are words on pages 180 and 181. If you can see the screen, there are words on the screen. But of course, we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. We continue quietly.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני אדוני צורי צורי. אדוני צורי וגואלי. אדוני צורי צורי. אדוני צורי וגואלי. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth, and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true, may they be acceptable to you, O my rock, my rock, and my Redeemer.
We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. Our Misha Berach is on page 371. If you're on Zoom and you have names that you did not send to the office for Misha Berach, you could add those in the chat, and I'll give everyone a chance also to add names out loud. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Jesse Sakharov, Dan Sacker, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Allison Plummer, Rabbi Dara Lerner, Kelly Quagliati, Susan Sisler, Joellen Fox, Alan Fremer, Valerie Pace, George Landberg, Susan Bilecki, Dana Haitkin-Nelson, Arlene Rosenthal, Michael Luck, Barbara Weiner, Joan Lifshitz, Elizabeth Lee, Amy Juskowitz-Soonseller, Deanna Roth, Jonathan Falkowski, Martha and Ed Vincent, Ingrid Grosso, Audrey Cohen, Eddie DeAngelis, Vicki Lightnaker, Nettie Traumer, Mia Gannon, Jerry Prezioso, Jeff Abel, Patricia Christensen, Monica Bayer, Liz Yasuda, Mark and Paul Steiner, Mimi and Celia Karp, Marion Mandel, Anne-Marie Rogan, Sharon Zinn, Nicole Moskowitz, Patty and Erwin Cohen, Jonathan Dash, Carolyn Dash, Bernard Koenig, Donna Saltz, Michelle Feder, Eric Feder, Tamima Feder, Ellen Dufour, Joe DeVito, Todd Petrie, Rabbi Joel Safin, Arlene Scher, Diane Heinzerling, Henny Fisher, Larry Kinsberg, 16 Brown, Donovan, son of Sarah, Linda Kushner Silverman, Mary Lou McGivney, Sarah West, Jennifer Magoob, Sylvia Solva, Chanel Kamabach, Juliette Dale, Elena R.M., Jimmy Jenkins, Warren Feliz, DeAndre Wynn, and any of those who are suffering in the Caribbean islands, Haiti, Israel, India, or Afghanistan. Jerry Jaffe, Marissa Schlesinger, Karen and Dennis Swass, Jerry Prezioso, Rabbi Dara Lerner and Kelly Quagliati, Merrill Kantrowitz, Steve Strauss, Lori Silverman, Susan Sisler, Stacy and David Mauser, Hannah Paines, Jeff Horn, Stanley Gershbein, Jackson and Tara Kushner, Mary Korchowski, Lou Levinson, Paul Kastick, Judith Kors, Ara and Howard Pileski, Ernest Tornincasa, Ron Cricky, Laura Cricky, Susan and Tony Vi, Jean and Larry Green, Laney and Larry Vinico, Zizi Potsdam, Brenda McBasey, Brenda Katroser, Fred Miller, Merle Prop, Nancy Kelly, Elliot Woofsey, Dr. Craig Rosenbaum, Mary Lou McGivney, Baby James Scarpulla, Paul Markowitz, Ann Kelly, Joan Lifshitz, and those who have been hurt in Ukraine, Rhonda Kramer, David Gershon, Shelley Samet, Levana Tenon, Sherry Jacobs, Ronnie Katlowitz, Carol and Stevie Doppelt, Merle Prop, Carol Smith, Steve Abramowitz. Freema?
Alan Roenick, Rochelle Roenick, Nathan Amani, Reva and David Cohen, Lucy Palazzolo, Martin Bennett, Carol Beanstock, Phyllis O'Neill, Kathy's brother Gabby, and Elliot Drucker. Thank you.
And who else has names to add? Alan?
Bonnie Greenbaum, Arnold Moss, Karen Eichel, Howard Michigan, the Americans abandoned in Afghanistan, and the NYPD.
Teddy?
Chris Superville.
We did say Elaine Drucker, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anyone else on Zoom? Okay. We turn to page 371 in the bracketed numbers in the middle of the page.
Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avotenu, Mishaberach Imotenu, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
A fight breaks out between two men, one an Israelite and the other the son of an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father. The second man, half Egyptian, half Israelite, blasphemes by pronouncing God's name, which is strictly forbidden. He is brought to Moses and held in custody while Moses consults God regarding the penalty. God tells Moses the man is to be taken outside the camp and stoned to death, and that is what the people do. This story is at the end of this week's Torah portion and more. The Torah portion begins with instructions for the behavior of priests and then lists the sacred times of the year, Shabbat, the three festivals of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. It then continues with instructions for olive oil lamps to burn continuously in the sanctuary, and that 12 loaves of bread shall be baked and displayed in the sanctuary every Shabbat. And then it seems like over the course of the week, the priests eat the bread. And then that's when we come to the story of the fight and the blasphemer, which seems really quite different from everything else that is in the Parsha and raises questions about what exactly is happening and why this story appears here. First, the text does not tell us what the fight is about. It seems that the reason for the fight is overshadowed when one of the men goes too far and pronounces the divine name. And so once he does so, it's all about that. And perhaps you've experienced this as well. You know, there's an argument going on, and then somebody just goes too far beyond the pale. And then suddenly the argument is no longer about what the argument is about. It's about, I can't believe you would play that card. I can't believe you would say such a thing. I can't believe you would do that. It's a thing that happens. So whether or not either of them has a legitimate grievance doesn't seem to matter anymore. Unsurprisingly, we do have midrashim, stories that fill in the gaps in the Torah to tell us something about the context of this fight. The midrash says, and it's kind of paraphrased, the fight started because the half-Israelite sneered at the immediately preceding law of the bread of display and said, "Why should weak old bread be on the table before the eternal when kings enjoy bread fresh from the oven every day?" Because the law says the bread is placed there every Shabbat, 12 loaves. But then there's another view. The quarrel arose from the ambiguous status of the half-Israelite. He wanted to pitch his tent with his mother's tribe, the tribe of Dan. But the Israelites had been told to encamp according to their fathers' houses, that is, to pitch their tent with the tribe of their fathers. So this man, the son of an Egyptian, found himself without any regular place in the camp, and in frustration he blasphemed. To the second midrash, the one about where this half-Israelite could pitch his tent, Rashi, one of our great commentators, adds that the man had taken his case before Moses and lost. Losing the case apparently means that he couldn't encamp with the tribe of Dan, his mother's tribe, thus enforcing his status of being in limbo and not really belonging anywhere in the camp. We're given the name of the mother of the half-Israelite, Shlomit bat Dibri, and our rabbis do take that opportunity to insult her, but we're not given his name. So I'm going to call him Ben Shlomit, son of Shlomit, just so that I can stop calling him the half-Israelite. The two midrashim about Ben Shlomit are really different from each other. The first one has him sneering at a ritual that God has commanded, contemptuously setting himself apart from the Israelites. The second has him longing to be included, but being rejected by his mother's tribe and having that rejection upheld by Moses. Rashi even comments that Ben Shlomit's Egyptian father was the Egyptian that Moses had killed back in Egypt. If so, if we're going to accept that, just imagine having your father's killer be the one who adjudicates your claim to be allowed to encamp with your mother's tribe and then rejects your claim. Not a good place to be in. For the moment, I'm going to go with a second midrash because I think it's more interesting than the first. And it also resonates with me as someone whose Jewish status is not recognized everywhere in the Jewish world. And I carry anger and hurt because of that, and I imagine that Ben Shlomit does too. If a system doesn't recognize you as a legitimate person within that system, it won't help you. It won't take care of you. To expand this idea, though, it's not all about me. Beyond myself and beyond even the Jewish world, there are many people who, overtly or subtly, are failed by the systems of our society and our world. Immigrants, especially those who are undocumented, who come here because their lives are in danger in their home countries, are not well served by our systems. And certainly there are those who say they don't deserve to be because they shouldn't have come illegally. I would say that many of them have had no good choices. They're not here legally, but returning to their home country would endanger their lives. But then there are also the American citizens who are people of color, both Jews and non-Jews, who are frequently viewed with suspicion when they go shopping or go jogging or drive their cars. They're disproportionately incarcerated. The racism that they face daily causes stress, frustration, and anger. But when they express that anger, they're accused of being uncivil and told that they need to be sensitive to the feelings of white people. Perhaps you too have found yourself in a situation where you felt that you didn't count within a certain system, that the system basically set you up to fail by not allowing you a place and a way to thrive. This is something teachers sometimes feel, with demands on all sides and inadequate resources and support. Healthcare providers during this pandemic have sometimes felt this too, overwhelmed with dying COVID patients, as well as patients who are sick with other illnesses, and working for corporations that don't seem to care about their well-being. In our story, Ben Shlomit does not survive. The systemic rejection of him leads him to violence and then committing a capital crime. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm not saying he was justified in blaspheming any more than committing murder out of frustration and rage is justified. But it's an indictment of a system that rejects some people by making it impossible for them to live healthy and successful lives. I respect the rabbis of the Midrash for imagining a situation that is really complicated, a situation in which Ben Shlomit is systematically delegitimized until he destroys himself. Unfortunately, our system, our society, does that too in various ways to various people. So let us resolve to listen to the experiences of those who aren't getting the resources they need and aren't being treated well by our systems. Let us look for ways to be inclusive and enrich our society for all of us. May we do our part to value and find a place for every person to pitch their tent. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. We are going to continue with the Aleinu. It begins on page 586, and I invite you, if you're able, to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. I am sharing the yahrzeit list to the screen. Those of you who are here in person have it in your bulletin. If you have names you would like to add for the mourner's cottage that you have not sent into the office, you could add those in the chat if you're on Zoom, and I'll give everyone a chance to add names out loud. We remember those who have died in the past year. Maddie Rosenbaum, Myron Jacobson, Lester Schenker, John Belay, Yefim Polyak, the Reverend Eleanor Lee McGee Street, Arthur Goldstein, Lotta Bloom, Irv Golden, Arthur Derry, Andrew Mazzella, Joyce Braziller, Linda Gilbert Schneider, Della Cohen, Fran Arnowitz, Selma Carl, Harold Carl, Emily Seth, Moshe Usher Reinitz, Huma Saber, Lila Bloomfield, John Carfisi, Andy Glantzman, Todd Zeitlin, John Previtt Jr., Augie Dorio, Janet Esposito, Kay Josephs, Arnold Block, Elizabeth Clark, Kyle McGee Sr., Ida Houston, Louisa Espute, Perry De La Touche, Ira Roth, Roberta Hayrath, George Liss, the Reverend Claude Park Street, Sylvia Tishkovich, Ellen Belofsky, Cindy Retagliata, Dolores Weinberger, Suzanne Leknos, Shirley Kafker, Lillian Frost Ridgely, Thomas Marinin, Meg Goldate, Marguerite Romeo, John Young, Isadora Frost, Fred Perlman. Linda Kushner Silverman's beloved son Seth and cousin Stanley Tenon, those who have been killed in Ukraine. And included on our yahrzeit list today are Anne Friedman, Rob Friedman's mother, Steve Platkin, Sam and Fran Silverman's friend, and Frances Schachter, Jonathan Schachter's mother. Freema?
Jack Mandel and Betty Rubel. Thank you.
Janet, would you like to unmute?
Sure. Albert Hyman was my grandfather. Morris Salad was my great-grandfather. Steve Platkin was a very, very active member of Ahavat Shalom and a good friend of my husband Jerry's as well. For yahrzeit, Pat and David Nelson, who both died, a husband and wife who died within a month of one another, dear friends. Louise Stover, Grace Tracy, Karen Dolberg, who was a friend of my daughter's who had an untimely death due to cancer, and she just died recently. Thank you.
Charlotte?
Yes, I wanted to mention Henry Corcus, who was on the list. He was the husband of Ilsa Corcus. He was a longtime temple member.
Thank you. Who else has names to add? Alan?
On the list is Cantor Eugene Green.
Yes.
Wasn't new to the temple, but he had some tremendous shoes to fill because he was the successor to Cantor. Well, a few in between, but he was the successor to Cantor Davidson, and he stayed with us quite a long time into his illness until he just couldn't do it anymore. I think Michael played for him.
He sang at Aaron's bar mitzvah.
So Alan is mentioning Cantor Eugene Green, who is on the list and served as the cantor at Temple Beth Emeth for many years. Other names? Okay. We include also all of those who have died in service to our country or Israel, those who have died from COVID-19 around the world in the millions of people now, and those who have died from other causes, whether war in Ukraine or Afghanistan or Syria or any other place, famine, terror, or disaster. We remember all of those who have died in the recent terror attacks in Israel, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598, and I invite you, if you're able, to rise and join in or to participate according to your own custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
I'd like to invite our President, Adrienne Knoll, to unmute and give us the announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you to Nathan and to Alan for doing the blessings. Thank you, as always, to Rabbi Heidi, to our birthday girl, Noni. Happy birthday, Noni.
Thanks,
And Michael Tornick. Everyone should be starting to learn the new tunes. Noni is having 2 sessions on June 2nd and June 6th from 7 to 9.
Right.
In the sanctuary, so people can learn the tunes in preparation for a special musical service. I mean, they're all musical services, but this one will be a special musical service on Friday, June 10th. Additional emails will go out about that as a reminder. Tomorrow, we have religious school here in Biyachad on Zoom and in person, and we have Leah Froelich Bat Mitzvah at 11 o'clock. Sunday, there's a brotherhood meeting at 9:30. There's a caring committee meeting at 11. And then brotherhood trivia led by Mike Rose at 4 o'clock. Everybody is invited. And there will be prizes, I have heard. Tuesday, Torah study with Rabbi Pinsky at 1 o'clock. From 4 to 5:30 is gentle chair yoga with Gail and Bob. Wednesday, if you're on the Board of Trustees, please come to the Board of Trustees meeting at 7:15. Then Friday, we're back here again. And just some upcoming things. Saturday, the 21st is a Brooklyn Half Marathon. Now, that really affects the way people get to Temple. I mean, it like bisects the borough. It's a royal pain. So please leave extra time if you are getting to Temple. Let's see. Luncheon, June 12th. If you are coming and you haven't yet made your reservation, do it now. The deadline is coming, but don't wait for the deadline. Just get your reservation in, and that way it's done, and it's going to be great. Auction, if you have anything to donate, please let Pam Glansman know. Sunday, June 26th, their membership committee is having a special program, the Tuskegee Airmen and the Jewish people, that you've gotten emails about that. You will get additional emails. You can register for that. It's going to be a really exciting program. Brotherhood Cyclones, Sunday, July 17th. It's Gil Hodges Day. If you would like to get a ticket, contact Gene Guskin, Alan Zarrow, Matt Holland, or Joel Moss. And I think that's it, unless I'm missing anything. If anyone has anything they'd like to add, please pipe in. Otherwise, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. I will just add that we are going to have a Tikkun Leil Shavuot on the evening of Erev Shavuot. Maybe that's redundant. On Erev Shavuot, which is June 4th. We're going to have confirmation during services that morning, and then in the evening, I think at 7 o'clock, we're going to have something amazing that I'm not going to tell you about yet, because I'm not quite sure yet what it is. But it'll be good. But that's coming up very soon, and yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to close with Zeh Bazeh. I invite you to rise if you're able.
May good fortune and blessing be found here. May the music of memory resound here. May the work of our hands and the work of our souls make us stronger, make us whole. Zeba, 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 biyachad. Oh, zeba, 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 biyachad. May we seek peace and understanding. May we cherish every companion. May the work we put in and the joy we express make us stronger, make us blessed. May the builders that lay the foundation, may they rise up in each generation. May the ones who invest never tire nor rest. They make us stronger, make us blessed. Zeba, 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 biyachad. Oh, zeba, 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 biyachad. Kol Yisrael, Araviv, zelazeh, Kol Yisrael, Araviv, zelazeh. May good fortune and blessing be found here. May the music of memory resound here. May the work of our hands and the work of our souls make us stronger, make us whole. Zeba, 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 biyachad. Oh, zeba, 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 biyachad. Du zeba, zeba. Kol Yisrael, Araviv, zelazeh. Kol Yisrael, Araviv, zelazeh. Zeba, 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 zeba,
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face toward you and give you peace. Amen. And one more thing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat Shalom. Those of you here in person, there is an oneg in the community room. Have some challah. Have some of my daughter Shoshi's brownies and some entenmann's. Shabbat Shalom. What?
Shalom.
3?
Shabbat shalom. Thank
What?
you.
Oh, I
Happy
didn't count the
birthday.
Omer again. Ugh. Sorry. Let's count the Omer before we go. Thank you. Keep forgetting. Thank you, Nathan. Nathan gets the credit for reminding me this week. What are we at? 4 weeks? Yeah. I think it's page 570. Yes, it is. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom. So 28. Yes? Esrim v'shmona yom shehem arba shavuot la'omer. Today is, I'm pretty sure, the 28th day, which is 4 weeks of the Omer. Thanks.